by his predecessor. Seeds that could not be sown during his predecessor's tenure. Mr. Speaker, indeed I believe if politics could be described as a sport, the one it would most closely resemble is a relay race. It is a sport that relies as much on the individual's achievement as it does on teamwork and cooperative effort. The true test of that competition is in the passing of the baton. So too with politics. Mr. Speaker, President Jerry John Rawlings started the structural transformation of this economy under the Economic Recovery Program. This program restored Ghana to a path of growth, which he handed over to President John Agyekum Kufuor. President Kufuor continued the Economic Adjustment Program and under HIPIC initiative achieved significant debt reduction, implementing new social intervention programs such as NHIS and the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty Program. He passed these on to President Professor John Ivans-Atta Mills. President Mills commenced the Eastern Corridor Road Project, the University of Ghana Medical Center, which I inaugurated yesterday, the Kotokraba Market, the Cape Coast Stadium, and a host of others which I inherited and completed. Mr. Speaker, my administration commenced the construction of new community-day senior high schools, a policy of progressively free secondary education, construction of the Eastern University, investment in many infrastructure projects that are ongoing, and many others that will actually commence under President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Mr. Speaker, I am assured by his firm statement that he will continue these projects as enjoined by our Constitution of 1992. Mr. Speaker, I wish him all the success in this regard. And as I've said many times already, regardless of whose tenure in which these visions come to fruition, its success belongs to Ghana. They belong to all of us. Mr. Speaker, political opposition and differences of opinion are vital to the health and growth of any democracy. Political parties are formed when people of similar ideology come together to move their agenda forward in a way that best serves their country's interests. But the well-being of the nation and the will of the people must always come first. Partisanship for its own sake in the end is no better than dictatorship. If we look around the world, we can so clearly see the deep divide that blind partisanship is creating in nations with democracies that are even far older than ours. We can see too the divide that it is threatening to create in ours if we are not careful. Already it's taking a toll on our morale and our sense of optimism. It has given way to a cynicism that is as dangerous to the incoming political party as it is to the outgoing. We cannot afford as a nation to wish or hope for the failure of any president and his or her government. Ensuring accountability is not the same as leveling insults or encouraging apathy. We have history as proof that we have been better and that we have done better, and that we must do better once again. Mr. Speaker, I first entered this House as MP for Bole Bamboe in January 1997. It was perhaps not coincidental that the same year Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo entered as MP for Achema-Boakwa. Taking breaks from the business of the House, to grab something to eat at a snack bar, Nana Addo always stood at the end of the counter, his signature white handkerchief tucked into his sleeve. Johnny, he would shout in greeting as he preferred to call me. Incidentally, we both served 3 terms in this House, departing together in January 2009. This is how long I've known the president-elect or we have known each other and worked together. I have the utmost respect for him, given our history, especially that we have each had our turn at each side of a presidential election. It would seem only natural for us to be considered opponents. Worthy opponents is the description generally used in the world of sports. In fact, Mr. Speaker, we are all on the same team as Ghanaians. We worked together when I served as ranking member on the Committee of Foreign Affairs at the time that Nana Addo was the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. One of the issues on which we crossed swords was the murder of some Ghanaian youth in the Gambia. It is instructive that as I leave office and as he takes my place, Gambia once again is a nation that is engaging international attention.
I think that the most effective way that we can have a debt portfolio for our country that is sustainable is to make sure that the NDC loses this election in December. Kicking out the NDC will be the surest way we can to protect the debt structure of our country. Why do I say that? In the 4 years in which they have been in power, they have more than tripled our national debt from 9 billion cedis, which was at the end of Kufuor's period, to 28 billion cedis today. In the 4 years of the NDC administration, they have contracted more debt than all the governments of our country, from Kwame Nkrumah right down to John Agyekum Kufuor. That is the nature of the situation confronting our country. And I dare say the president would agree with me that without the rebasing of the economy, the debt profile of our country today will be getting towards epic proportions. So we need, when we're talking about the debt profile of our country, to bear in mind two things. One, the areas into which the debt goes. And I agree with some of my previous speakers that the productive investment and the rate of return on them is a critical one. Equally critical is the value for money of the transactions that the debt brings about. We need to look at that. I've given some examples of public procurements that are taking place in our country on an extremely inflated rate. Once again, we need to look at this. You're talking about loans that are given, and inside the loans, the arrangements for determining value for money remain very opaque and unclear. How can you persuade the Ghanaian people that debts are being contracted in these circumstances that are there to push forward their future? We intend to be extremely disciplined about the contraction of debt. We're first of all going to respect the teachings of the national budget and treat it as precious. We will not be stepping outside the constraints of the budget. We are going to make sure that we reduce considerably areas of corruption in the construction and execution of some of these projects. These are the critical matters that our people are looking for leadership on. That we are not going to get ourselves in airline and other aircraft and other transactions that leave so many questions to be answered. The 28 billion is even without the latest Chinese.
Thank you so much.
How can government be seeking to contract this magnitude of non-concessional loans at this time when it does not have enough cash to meet statutory payments? This is like an alcoholic who has just been convinced to enter rehab, and just a few days before rehab asks for a carton of whiskey. Can this person be trusted to keep or to stay with the rehab program? Undertaking this additional borrow would mean that the anchor is not likely to hold, and it would compromise the objective of fiscal consolidation and debt sustainability. Given Ghana's economic situation, this bailout program will require a commitment commitment to fiscal discipline that will test the resolve of any government in any developing country, such as ours. And it is important that the government understands what it has signed up for. We should all be prepared for some painful adjustments. To give legal backing to the process of fiscal consolidation, the government is like...
Currencies depreciate when the fundamentals are wrong. Right. And the mismanagement of this economy in terms of the fundamentals is what was driving the depreciation of the currency. You can't be running double-digit deficits, double-digit current account and fiscal deficits, borrowing to this extent, financing your deficit with huge printing of money from the central bank, right, and expect your currency to be stable. The fundamentals will not support it.
Right. They will not support for a bailout. Well, the president says it's policy credibility, not a bailout. What should go in there? Because along the line with your predictions and the lectures you gave, you said that if things don't go well, that is where we might have to go. If we're going for a bailout, what are we asking for?
Well, I think I did make the point, I think, in my last major lecture in Ghana, that if the government doesn't take certain decisions, we will end up with a request for a bailout from the IMF. And this is exactly what has happened. Mismanagement has consequences. Bad policies have consequences. And Ghana is going to
give legal backing to the process of fiscal consolidation. The government is likely to be required by the IMF to pass a fiscal responsibility law. A fiscal responsibility law will require governments to declare and commit to a fiscal policy that can be monitored. It includes rules and provisions for transparency and sanctions. Mr. Chairman, in my lecture last year and earlier in November 2013, when I delivered the Aliyu Mahama Memorial Lecture, I offered the same piece of advice to government. But the Minister of Finance responded that it was not necessary. Today, because it is the IMF offering the solution, the government response is that it is very necessary. Mr. Chairman, to prevent the runaway printing of money by the central bank to finance the large deficits of government, the IMF is requiring that Bank of Ghana reduces its lending to government to zero by 2016. Zero. This means that in 2016, Bank of Ghana would not be allowed to lend even a peso to the government. During my lecture last year, I offered similar advice. I cautioned that the printing of money was too much. The bank responded that it wasn't the case. But today the IMF is offering the same solution, and they agree with it. Plus, as the IMF has stated, government would be required to remove all subsidies on the utilities and petroleum products. This will require, obviously, will cause a lot of hardships. The removal of subsidies will also mean a strict implementation of the automatic price adjustment formula for utilities and petroleum. I would like to urge the government to publish all the elements of the automatic price formula so that we can all monitor.
I also want to assure all Ghanaians that no individual or institutional investor, including pension funds, in government treasury bills or instruments, will lose their money as a result of our ongoing IMF negotiations. There will be no haircuts. So I urge all of you to ignore the false rumors. Just as in the banking sector cleanup, government ensured that the 4.6 million depositors affected by the exercise did not lose their deposits. We need it as a nation in these times. From the pulpit, do encourage hard work, understanding work as a vocation, and patriotism as a virtue. The Ghanaians must continue to embrace in this new year and beyond so that Ghana will remain a shining star of Africa and a key player on the world stage. Let me respond briefly to the chairperson on the issue of illegal mining. I want to assure him and all of you that Akonta Mining is not engaged in any illegal mining anywhere in Ghana as we speak. Further, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has, through the agency of the Forestry Commission, with the assistance of the military, made the effort to cordon off all 294 sites of forest reserves in the country and rid them of illegal mining as we speak. We will continue to work to ensure that this situation remains permanent. This government is determined to win the fight against Galamsey, no matter the cost in effort. I shall protect the public purse by insisting on value for money in all transactions.
We don't have to borrow money from anywhere. Just to the various sections of the road, and we'll raise the money to do the roads in Ghana.
It doesn't mean we will not borrow money. It only means that we are going to borrow responsibly and not recklessly. No government can say they won't borrow money. That is ridiculous. So far, the commitments that we received in China before leaving amounted to a total of $15 billion. And there's a possibility that within the next month or so, there are some discussions that we couldn't conclude, that another $4 billion will be added to that. But this is by way of grant funding. As you can see, all the discussions we've had in China have to do with getting a new funding model, not borrowing, but leveraging our resources to do so.
If you look at this country, the money is there for development, but it stays up, it doesn't come down. The money is there, but it stays up, it doesn't come down. We are going to make sure we bring in a new economic model and make sure the money will come down to our villages for everybody to get that share of the money.
Which were really bad times where we all slept at the petrol station. So that's indication that, you really need to get up and talk about it, because we cannot, as a nation that deserves so much more, come to this level.
I'm working like a bull and I'm paying my taxes. The government got to work like a bull as well and make sure that my road is fixed, that I have electricity, that I have water. That is their job. It is not for me to tell the president how to fix the economy. If he didn't know how to fix the economy, why did he run for office?
And as you can see, the Bank of Ghana committing to that project.
I don't have the figure offhand.
The figure for your headquarters?
I don't have a figure off my head, sir. That's what I'm saying.
$250 million. Are you committing $250 million to that project?
I don't have the full complement of the figures at this moment.
Mr. Randolph, you are the Director of Finance of the Bank of Ghana. This is a major project that will shake the balance book of every organization. You should have that figure of head. How much are you committing to your head office building? We know it is $250 million. Can you confirm that?
What he's trying to say, it's not what you have put on. What
the Bank of Ghana committing to that project?
I don't have the figure offhand, sir.
The figure for your headquarters?
I don't have a figure off my head, sir. That's what I'm saying.
$250 million. Are you committing $250 million to that project?
I don't have the full complement of the figures at this moment.
Mr. Randolph, you are the Director of Finance of the Bank of Ghana. This is
a major project that will shake the balance book of every organization, you should have that figure of head. How much are you committing to your head office building? We know it is $250 million. Can you confirm that?
What he's trying to say, it's not what you have put on. What the IMF is saying, the impairment, because the government is not paying, not able to service its debt, owed to the BOG, you have to impair it. If you pay it, if it were a commercial bank, your capital adequacy ratio has fallen into the negative. In other words, if the Bank of Ghana were an institution, you were going to sell it, it's almost bankrupt. However, central banks don't go bankrupt. Their policy mandate to regulate the economy, they still they still have that mandate to continue. He's not saying that, so he's not saying that they have failed there. In other words, despite the fact that they have negative equity, having impaired the loans they have given to the government, they still must continue with their policy in order to stabilize the economy. That's what he's saying there.
But in the midst of this,
I'm just giving you the meaning of what
the IMF is saying. In the midst of this, though, one of the things that has got a number of Ghanaians outraged, which was mentioned by the minority leader during that press conference, was that 250 million. And the minority leader mentioned $250 million. But if you check the report,
yes, that's what, before, don't be attributed to you. I don't know why our leaders will not check their facts and throw dust so that you come to a point that you don't trust those who are supposed to be our leaders. They mentioned 250 million. And I said, dollars. How can a building be 200? And it's 250 million cedis.
Yes.
If you divide 250 by 12, you get 20 plus million dollars. A central bank's building, which has to come with special features, because if someone breaks into central bank's vault, for example, we all have it, we will be in real trouble. The securities and other things. And 22 million, I don't know how much even some of them are probably living in mansions which they can sell for 5 million. I can tell you that some of the opposition from Mahama and down are living in buildings which, if they put on the market, they'll be asking for $5 million. And say that the central bank's building for 20 million. You know, we at Ghana Christian International High School is trying to build a facility in Accra, and we are going to approach the banks for it. It's going to cost us about $10 million. Basic school to high school. This is how much dollars. So, and if the central bank builds a central bank headquarters for 20 million, I mean, for you to turn the CD into millions, and it's one of those things that, you know, only people like Sammy Gyamfi will say it. But on a more
Sammy Gyamfi didn't say it was the minority leader, Case
it's even worse, because at least Sammy Gyamfi, he says a lot of things. I will excuse him as a lawyer, but an economist who just got a PhD in economics to throw this without checking his facts is even worse. However, and this is where I don't think this is the time when we are in such a deep hole that you should be building your headquarters. I agree with all the explanations that the Bank of Ghana gave. Their building now is not suitable for purpose. They go to the extent of saying that there may be an earthquake. The question is this: when you have been there for all these years, there has not been. I agree, but there are certain things. For example, I've been criticizing the government that the individual ministers and other things should not behave as if we are in normal times, with all their V8 and their convoys and other things. There's a psychology of leadership, and I would agree that this is not the time. A year or two, Ghana, fortunately, will not be in this forever. I can assure you, these too shall pass, as the Bible says, except that I wish that when it passes, we continue rather than we go forward, come back, go forward, as we say it in my language. But
what is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob, but you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you, because we choose them, we vote them, we blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. Inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Right, hello, good morning and welcome to the show. This is Morning Ghana Live on Metro TV. It's a Thursday, the 24th day of August, 2023. By His grace, we're live and we're here. We're yet another edition of the show. Our gratitude to go to Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making the rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly. Let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic. Super Delegates Conference. NPP aspirants justify inclusion on Saturday. WASSCE rating papers begin with oral English. Exam for Ghana only. European Union injects 120 million euros into West Africa exports. 2023 Ghana Teacher Prize launched. Ghanaian Times. 2. Nigerians busted for allegedly trafficking 11 victims into Ghana. Krasek students abandoned classes in search of potable water. 66 died, 24 injured in fire outbreaks in Greater Accra. Refrain from illegalities and indiscipline, Deputy Minister cautions immigration staff. Daily Guide, I don't fear prison, Kwesin. 7 fight for 2 slots in NPP Superdelegates Confab. ECG sacks 11 top officials. Duka opens workshop for small-scale miners. NDC MPs please agree on Bank of Ghana protest. The New Crusading Guide, I'm not scared of going to jail, Jechi Kwesin. Let's support Brian Achampong to deliver Doma East MP. We are not your subjects. Advejuri residents to Ochini. Jasican youth fight former DC over lack of development in Nkonya. FDA ends designation as Regional Center of Excellence for Vaccines Regulatory Oversight in Africa. Government to commission automated premix fuel distribution project at Elmina on August 29, 2023. The Insight, Senegal in turmoil over ECOWAS-backed troop deployment to Niger. SAC BOG boss, deputies, minority Arise Ghana demand set to go for demo on September 5. Towards ensuring quality radio sounds, NCA commences trial phase of digital audio broadcasting. China's Xi calls for pushing China-South Africa ties to new level. The Daily Statesman, champion gender equity, First Lady charges Queen Mothers. Kweku Kwatin dismisses claims hotel received 1D1F tax waiver. Ghana saves $1.5 billion from GMPC Gensa deal. President calls for return of stolen African cultural properties. NYA calls for collaboration to address youth challenges. Daily Post. Akufo-Addo's daughter is not fit to hold the position of Director of the Creative Arts Council, Kojo Preku Dankwa. Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin presumed dead after Russia plane crash. Minority resists police alternative route for Occupy Bank of Ghana protest. Akufo-Addo government not serious about corruption fight. Reverend Opuni slams Osafo Mafu's cry to church leaders over graft. Business Finder. FDIs must be mutually beneficial. GIPC boss tells captains of industry. We'll continue to keep our airport safe and offer pleasant travel experience. And that's about it. For the front pages, we'll be back shortly.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Betway is your gateway to a theme park full of gaming excitement. A whirlpool of wonder where your favorite games come to life. Where you can take to the skies with max payouts that reach into the millions. All in the palm of your hand. Visit betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Bet responsibly. Betway. Bet your way.
Do you need a place with a stunning view and serene environment just beneath the Green Mountains with a commercial center and recreational area with an amazing park? Then look no further.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Welcome to Rehoboth Havens, the most affordable yet luxurious gated community located in Damfa, Accra. We have 2 and 3 bedroom houses with spacious park. Let me show you. All of our rooms come with beautiful porcelain tiles, durable fitted kitchen cabinets,
constant water supply,
electricity and water 24/7.
I'm buying this house. Stop processing my papers. Move it. If you're living in Ghana and want an affordable and luxurious house to buy, look no further than Rehoboth Social Housing Limited. Oh, and to those from the diaspora, aren't you tired of living in places that doesn't belong to you? You can also own your house and be your own landlord from Rehoboth Social Housing Limited. I have my own, Bosu Landlord.
Contact us now. Rehoboth Social Housing. Your housing dream becomes reality.
For over 20 years of serving the world with herbal and alternative medicine, we've been successful in treating complicated medical conditions with a perfect combination of herbal and alternative methods of treatments like homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology, and many more. We deliver excellent and effective service to people from all walks of life through scientific and traditional means. We have a well-equipped laboratory with advanced diagnostic and treatment devices to help detect your illness, so we know the right medication to be given. At Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital, we are proud manufacturers of our own herbal medication. Our zeal and passion to save lives with our patients at heart and outstanding achievements since 1996 has won us several awards. That is why we say, go herbal, go Amen. We are located everywhere in all the regions. Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allahu Shafi, God is the He.
Yamawako about the button Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories. Ahadie, a bano KSC near Wakadia. Ubenya Biwa. Kabian in the house, any new here. Yansu ye were winning the four, or best son we ye amount. Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories, ye you did ye. 24/7. Ye says you engine, brake, battery, yes, a sour tie. Say bano car wash dia. Ye were above fidelity says steamer, ye the whole car engine, a brand soon core engine him. Ye sign ye detailing, metre say, ye bet you car no baby amount. Ye sa polisho car namao, come on. And you win monku, ye sato car batteries. Ties, rims, any of your keke count. Manadum Auto Fix and Accessories, Emma Oka, and Sine Dadem, then where you mamma. Shisha Yachida Quine what down Suman, I saw it down who are any KFC boy, Henimu, a one crime. So open information, and answer and Bisabia, Fresh 024 651 9369. Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories.
To help meet your business and private printing needs successfully, we have just the right products and services. At Appointed Time Printing Limited, we specialize in digital printing, offset printing, packaging and security printing. Our innovative designs and complete professional touch on our print products such as posters, flyers, brochures, magazines, poll cards and any other print solution of your choice ensure that our customers are always happily connected to their audience. With our security printing section, our clients are assured of a highly secured and confidential work process from start to finish. At Appointed Time, our prices are very, very competitive. Locate us at the old GNTC building near Swansea Shopping Arcade, Accra. Contact us on 0501 454165 0501 454167. Appointed Time Printing Limited. Our printing is a solution.
Now here, TV, fridge, freezer, air condition, gas cooker, washing machine, smartphone, sound system, water dispenser, microwave, blender, rice cooker, kettle, and iron. Seven Hisense smartphone is a yeah, titi so more than a Hisense factory direct promo. It's in your madada noa, Emma light bill e kuno. Fasi baby, never jeffo. Every 28 August, I copy him 2nd September. Be way showroom no. Said they are torn no. Sana ye torn. Wait dear, ya titi swabro so. Who Hisense. Everyday prices for everyday people.
Step into success with Accra Business School. Boost your career with our prestigious MSc degrees from KNUST. Pick from Human Resource Management, Communication and International Relations, Public Affairs. In just 12 months, our MBA can be yours. Dive into our BSc programs in IT Security and Cybercrime, IT Management and Business and Management, endorsed by top universities in Ireland and Wales. We offer flexible entry, payment and learning options. It's time to unlock your potential and take flight. Visit www.abs.edu.gh or dial 0263 888 555. Let Accra Business School elevate your future today.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. And with me on the show this morning, I have the Honorable Alex Segbefia, who's a former Minister of Health and also the Director of International Relations of the NDC. Good morning.
Good morning, Randy. Good morning to your viewers and also to my colleague you're going to introduce.
Also with me on the show this morning is the Member of Parliament for the Botiano English Amanfro constituency, the Honorable Sylvester Tete. Sly, good morning.
Good morning.
You look tired.
Very tired. Very, very tired. But we are still doing on.
And you're better, sir.
And good morning to you. And good morning to my older brother.
All right.
It is well.
Okay.
Let the weak say I'm strong.
We'll find out. Anyway, so if you're thinking about securing your future with education, which I think is a good thing, do so with Accra Business School. You can boost your career with your prestigious MSc degrees from KNUST. You can pick from Human Resource Management, Communication, International Marketing, International Relations, Public Affairs or IT Management in just 12 months. The MBA can be yours. Dive into the BSc programs in IT Security and Cybercrime, IT Management and Business Management endorsed by top universities in Ireland and Wales. The Accra Business School offers flexible entry payment and learning options convenient to you. It's time to unlock your potential and take position. Visit www.abs.edu.gh or call the Accra Business School on 0263 888 555 or 0263 888 666 or visit the campus at Spintex Road, Christ Square. Let Accra Business School elevate your future today. And don't let aging and physical infirmity stand in your way as far as enjoying the mansions, homes and offices that you've toiled to build. It often becomes challenging, if sometimes not impossible, to use the stairways, but worry no more, because with the portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators known as PVs, you're sure of unlimited enjoyment of these homes, mansions and offices. It's a simple to use self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility to choose from. You may call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home or the office. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days with modification to your building. So visit Lifts and Elevators Ghana at Sakumama for your solutions and free consultations. You can reach Lifts and Elevators on 0200 535 515, 0200 535-515 or email them at elevatorsgh@gmail.com, at elevatorsgh@gmail.com. And what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember, who's got the mullah has got the power. Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adom TV at 9 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. daily. Now pick up your phones, tablets and computers and download the Game Park Games app on Play Store. You can also play on their website at www.gameparkgames.com or by dialing *946# on all networks. Just choose 4 numbers from 0 to 9. It's easy to play and easy to win. Charlie, make we play this game and make some mullah. Nobody beats our odds in Ghana. Game Park Games, more mullah, more power. This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority and is not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. Right, slide. Front page daily graphics, Super Delegates Conference, NPP aspirants justify inclusion Saturday, and Samuel Dodo reports that a fierce race to decide who leads the new Patriotic Party in the 2024 presidential election enters the home stretch as the ruling party holds the Super Delegates Conference on Saturday to reduce the 10 aspirants to 5. The suspense-filled Special Electoral College will be a prelude to the crucial national conference on November 4, 2023, where the party's flag bearer for the 2024 general election will be selected. The nationwide poll follows months of intensive campaigning by the aspirants across the length and breadth of the country to win the hearts and minds of the delegates in whose hands their destiny lies. The candidates have been rallying the delegates with their capabilities not only to transform the Ghanaian economy and superintend over the country's development, but also to lead the NPP to break the 8-year cycle of governance between the party and the NDC. They also trumpeted their competence and sense of nationalism to mobilize all Ghanaians to buy into their vision. The thoroughbreds in the hot contest comprise the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, former Trade and Industry Minister, Alan John Kojo Chairmantin, the MP for Asin Central, Kennedy Onyejepo, the MP for Esikado Ketan, Joe Gatti, who's also a former Minister of Railways, Development, and Attorney General Minister of Justice, a former Minister of Energy, Boache Jaku, and a former General Secretary of the NPP and Press Secretary to President J. Kufuor Kwabena Ejapon. The rest are former Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Usuefri Akoto, former Commissioner of the ECOWAS, Dr. Kofi Kunudo Apreku, who's also a former Minister of Trade, a former MP for Mampon, Ashanti Region, Francis Adenimo, and an energy expert, Kojo Poku. The campaign messages of the 10 flag bearer hopefuls so far have centered on their contributions to the party, what they will do for the party, and how they will turn the economic fortunes of the country around if they get the nod. And we're looking at a little over 900 delegates, and to ensure a free and fair, transparent poll, the party has constituted a presidential elections committee chaired by the former Speaker of Parliament, Professor Aaron Michael Quay, to supervise and conduct the elections with assistance of the EC and the Ghana Police Service. And so there are actually 17 polling stations, so the 16 regional capitals and the party headquarters in Accra. And the AC headquarters will be the final collation center. Sly.
Randy.
Are you guys ready?
We are more than ready. And good morning to our viewers, to my constituents. And it's been a while since I appeared on the show.
Yes.
I've been out of town for a while and on the campaign trail. But Randy, let me say that for us in A4P, Alan for President team, we are clear in our minds that this is not the most important of the elections we are looking at. We are looking at November 4th. If you ask anybody, being an MPP, a sympathizer, not an MPP person, can easily mention 3 of the aspirants out of the 10. So Saturday's election is a battle for 2 additions of the 3 known personalities that will make it to the top 5. In this case, looking at Alan John Kojo Chairmantin, Kennedy Ejapon, and the Vice President are likely, of course, or known to be standing out of the 10. So the Saturday's election is seeking to add 2 more to these 3 gentlemen I've mentioned. And so for us, in all rounds, yes, we speak to everybody that matters. In November 4th, Saturday, the delegates are part. The only group of people we are going to meet before Saturday is the diasporan delegates, who are, some are even arriving tonight. We've met Alan Chemantin is on his way to the northern regions today. I think he should be in Tamale already. Yesterday we met the National Executive Committee of our party. We've met everybody who needed to be spoken to in respect to the super delegate. But we are not looking at that. We are looking beyond the super delegate. Obviously, Alan Chemantin is part of the 5. And so what is it? You are part of the 5. The real game is the November 4th. That is where we are selling our candidates. We are crisscrossing the country. We are working. But Randy, I've heard and I've seen people putting out numbers, 90%. The numbers kept being reviewed by the day as we're getting closer to it. They started by 90%. They were going to whitewash all the aspirants, 90% victory. Now I've seen coming down to 60 to 70. Now they can't be certain about the numbers they are getting again. But Randy, let me tell you, in Greater Accra, at least where I'm in charge, I will beat them to it. For me, the super delegate will posit a very interesting picture for November 4th. November 4th, we are looking over 208,000 delegates going to select a leader for our party. We've made our point, and we are still making the point to the delegate that you put a candidate that has a less risk of losing the next elections. I mean, people keep talking about breaking the 8. Whilst we talk about breaking the 8, you may be losing fact of the other side of the coin, because two sides of the coin is either you lose or you win. In politics, there's no draw. If there's a draw, you still go for a runoff. So for me, I think that electorate should be looking at who poses the less risk for the MPP in winning the 2024 elections. And I think that is Alan Kojo Chemantin. We made that point clear. So on Saturday, we were hoping that these whole 17 polling stations could be put together at one venue. If a party could put over 4,000 delegates in Accra Sports Stadium to cast a vote, and we cannot put 900 people together, I mean, it leaves much to be desired. The logistics deployment, the cost of running tomorrow's elections, Saturday's elections, I mean, we are all seeing it. But when people think that you put 23 people at the regional conference to select 5 of your aspirants, I mean, what good are you doing anybody in this party? But we've passed that stage. We are prepared. We've trained our agent. We've deployed them. We are grateful to the National Executive. We've had the album, clear 1 month to the elections. We've gone through the album. There are names that we felt should not be in it. We've challenged them. They've been taken out of the album. This is a mark of diligence, and we've gone through the process. We are grateful so far. The Super Delegate Elections Committee has been fantastic, and we think that we will cooperate and ensure, because for us, Alan is already part of the 5. We are setting in our minds, like I told you, 3 of them are already part of it. Saturday is to select 2 more to join the 5, and we'll continue our campaign. I wish everybody well. People should be mindful that after Super Delegate, we still have an intense campaign to run. And if you win Super Delegate, it doesn't mean that you are going to win the November 4th. Right, I keep making the point in my constituency, 1,115 delegates will be voting on November 4th. In Super Delegate, we are only 2. Myself and my chairman. It doesn't represent the entirety. And I've also heard a reportage that somebody is alleging that if you have 60 to 70%, we should allow you to run. I hope and I want to believe that is a wrong reportage, and it cannot be attributed to the revered leader of parliament. If it is, I still expect him to debunk that statement, and nobody should think for a moment that they could push this idea. If you can even get 99%, it doesn't make you, because 900 delegates out of 208,000, I mean, cannot be representative enough. It is not for nothing that the constitution is structured and that delegates will have a day. Unfortunately, Randy, I tell you, I know some aspirant. It's likely that somebody may score 0 on Saturday. Super delegate may score 0. But if you put the person out for general election, will not score 0. So that thing we are seeing, I hope that is not true. And let us also be guided by the democratic principles we've ascribed to. And in democracy, we'll continue to speak, we continue to critique, we continue to offer alternatives to the extent that we'll have a very, very credible system that everybody will feel comfortable. The schemes and the skirmishes that are going around, some of them, I see them as normal. They are part of the political system. So for me, when I see some of those things, I don't get worried too much. What I'm worried about is things that ought not to be, that people are pushing to be. I'll fight and ensure that we get remedies for certain, not only for today, but for posterity. That is why some of us clear rules that has been, because election is not an event, it's a process. So the process begins with rules and regulations, and nobody can truncate that process, and nobody can alter it however they want it. We have structures in our party. We have appellate bodies to deal with this matter. So we've clearly cooperated. We've clearly made our point when necessary. And we are quite comfortable with the happening so far. We're still watching the process. But there are guidelines that have been put out there that if you're an MP, if you're a minister, if you're a national officer, whatever it is, you cannot be an agent for any of the aspirants. Go and cast your vote and leave. We are all cooperating. We are all abiding by such regulations. It is also said that nobody can go to the polling booth with a mobile phone with the idea to go and take a picture and send out. No. So if there's a suspicion of you carrying a phone on, you will search you. We'll make sure that the electoral officer, yes, Randy, yes, I mean, these are clear rules. So we've trained our agents, look out for any suspicious cameras. Not only mobile phone, nowadays cameras could be sophisticated. So if the person is acting suspicious, report to the EC officer, get the police attention, and make sure the person is searched thoroughly to make sure that the person is not taking any foreign material, being here a camera to record anything. These are not my rules. These are rules ascribed to the elections by the elections committee. It is my duty to train my agent, as I've done already in Greater Accra, to look out for some of these things. So I think that if we all follow these rules, it will be peaceful. When we go into the elections and I don't get it, I'll be satisfied that I've done my best, but my best is not perhaps enough. Or people say, good luck next time. We'll continue to support whoever emerges as a leader. Yesterday, when we met the national executives, Alan proposed and put out Agenda 2030 for our party, his plan for our party, and his plan for this country. And after the conversation, I saw people who openly are not supporting Alan Shemanti. They were wowed by his ideas for our party, looking forward up to 2030. And that's amazing. And I think that is, and he made it clear, win or lose, it is your duty to start implementing some of these things to make our party attractive and make our party strong. And I believe that successive leadership of our party all had worked so hard. But what he put out yesterday was amazing, even to the national executives. And they were so grateful for his proposals he put forward as he termed Agenda 2030. So for me, I'm clear in my mind that let's play by the rules. And as we play by the rules, I mean, Greater Accra, we are only 72 delegates going to vote. Some places 30, some places 29. Only 72. We have 4 hours, starting from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Even one hour time, you can even be done with voting. And the national headquarters has the highest number of delegates. That brings in diaspora voters, over 80 or so of them, put the former the national executives, council members altogether, 204 vote at the national headquarters. So I'm overseeing 2 polling centers, Greater Accra and the national headquarters, as it were. So Randy, I think that so far so good. We are confident. Those who are determined to vote for us, nothing can change their minds. I mean, those visiting people are done. It's part of elections. You go, once you leave, they call us. They've been here. We are watching. It is elections. You can even go to sleep with the person till morning. If he will not vote for you, he will still not vote for you. I've heard of people trying to camp people. And you can camp people, leave the camping room, and go and vote against you. People are clear that these elections, it's about the future of our party, not an individual. So for me, the kind of language and the messaging that are going out in private, when they come out, they pretend that they are saints, sacrosanct, and all that. But whatever they tell the delegate, they tell us as well. And we are convinced. You have a meeting with 3 people. You leave the meeting room, whatever you discuss is out. And that gives us the confidence. Like the Bible said, bread and butter I don't have, but what I have, I give you. The good message we continue to give the people. And I am convinced, we've gone through this process before. 2007, it was quite intense. We prevailed. 2023, MPP shall prevail.
Are you not worried that the outcome of the election could have a huge psychological impact on the delegates, the over 200,000 delegates who will be voting in November? That depending on how it goes, for example, if there's a landslide, I mean, psychologically, people will say that, look, well, we thought that it was this man, but if you look at what is going on, we might as well just...
Randy, let me give you a typical example. 137 members of parliament, and let me use the MPs. Initially, I had 120 members supporting one particular candidate. It's coming down. It keeps coming down. Assuming, without admitting, that all 137 people go to vote for one particular candidate. Randy, these 137 in February will be going for elections. Are you saying that those who are going, some may not be contesting again, that all of us will win our primaries? Every delegate should think about it. Not all of us will win our primaries. Some will jump over the roof and support a candidate will win. He will go to the elections and will lose. So it cannot be true. It cannot be true. And I've told you the numbers. We've seen these things before. The people down there, they know who they can take to the market and sell. So that is the most important thing. Look, what our party delegate fears most that will go into opposition, it scares them more than anything. It scares anybody more than anything. Unless you are not, you think you are done with politics, then you can't be bothered. But if you are active in the politics and you think that for a moment, what will life be if we go into opposition? The programs, the project, the things we are doing, can we continue? As of now, we are not too sure. If a change of government comes, whether free SHS will be continued or otherwise. These are threats, matters of threat. I mean, I'm saying people genuinely have these concerns that, hey, I've worked for this party, I've seen my brother's kids go to best schools. I was in Asin North, right? A relative I've not seen in a long while. He came to me and thanked me. What is the matter? His son went to Achimota school. The feeling, some in the village, you see them going to St. Augustine's, going to these schools, they don't pay anything. Somebody is watching. Hey, if there's a change of government, am I also going to benefit or I will not benefit? I mean, these are real fear in party people or even generality of our society. That is why people say, for this reason, keep the party in government. At least we can be sure that if NPP continues to be in power, free SHS will continue, other social intervention programs will continue. So these are genuine fear people are afraid of. And I think that it will inform their decision as to who to vote for so that we keep these things running. So for me, we are MPP. Whoever emerges as a winner, we are all going to support. But now we are campaigning for our respective candidates, and we'll do so in all humility and in all dignity. That will not hurt the party. But we know that as a superdelegate, no matter the outcome, it's interesting. They started by 90% prediction. Now it's 70. It's now 60. Maybe by tomorrow morning, it will be coming to 50 before Saturday. But the real numbers will prove itself. Really, we are not competing to become first or second. What is important is that we are part of the five. And the real deal is in November 4th. But Randy, trust me, whichever way it is, the expectation of people will be dashed. People will be shocked about the outcome of super delegate on Saturday. But I wish everybody well. I have good friends in there. My own father, Boache Jako, is in there, Kennedy Japan. Joe Gate, my company law lecturer. I mean, these are fine gentlemen in there. I wish everybody well. Maybe we'll not get to meet again on Saturday. At least by 5 p.m., we'll know our smoothness level. Everybody will know his or her smoothness level. So I wish everybody well. But Randy, we in Team Alan Kojo Chiremantin, we are quite comfortable.
Comfortable?
Yes.
Not a comfortable lead.
Is it a comfortable lead? Are you
we are comfortable with the process thus far and the outcome. We are good. You're right. It's the game of numbers.
The last time somebody said comfortable,
it's not comfortable lead. Be mindful. It's not comfortable. We are comfortable with the process, and then the outcome will be much comfortable. Right. So please, it's not a comfortable lead. Right.
Chief, Randy, you are done with yours.
So I'm just, they say when dogs are fighting, the cat sits on the wall and smiles. Yes, I don't have very much to say except to wish all their aspirants well at all levels, both the 10 that are going and then subsequently the 5 that will be moving for the November 4th. In generality, all political parties will have to start looking at the cost of internal elections or elections in general, because it's almost it's not sustainable, the amount of funds and monies that go into our election cycles and processes. The only good thing for us about them conducting the election in this manner is that we get more information against them in the forthcoming general election, because the way in which they are attacking each other, those that are out of government and those that are out in government. And Sly, may I ask a question? The 10 people going, don't all of them have a vote?
No, not all of them.
Oh, okay.
Not all of them has a vote.
So 2 of them, or a number of
At
them
least,
don't have a vote?
Yes, I know Joe Gatti has a vote, Kennedy Japan has a vote.
Because they are MPs?
Yes, they are sitting members of parliament. I'm also aware that the vice president has a vote. Who else?
So the only reason I asked is that it means somebody can get 0.
Yes, I mean, there's a likelihood of
I was hoping that at least the person will get 1. You go and vote for yourself, so to speak. But it means that people can actually get a 0. But anyway, we wish everybody well in the election. I agree with you entirely that this first election has no correlation except bragging rights and some psychological impact, if you want to put it that way, on what is going to happen on November 4th. But the real game is on November 4th. And the numbers there are way, way, way different from what we are looking at this Saturday. Just to assure viewers that the free SHS is here to stay. I know that you will be reviewing it yourselves. You've already indicated, even though you give a different definition of review, your definition of review was what sparked all this thing. When President Mahama said it will be reviewed, and the MPP took the view that, or the president took the view that review means cancel. And now they have come to agree that they have to review it, especially with the IMF program. It is one, or we are informed that it's one of the flagship projects that will be looked at. It's not surprising, because even before you brought it, Ken Ofri-Atta had been saying that he felt that those that could afford should be paid, as opposed to everybody being put on free SHS. So we are expecting some review of that policy to take place, even under your government. If the
point of correction, none of the social intervention flagship programs have been mentioned for review leading to perhaps what your review may cancelling. No, they rather encourage it. So all of them, including school feeding. So it won't, and our leadership, it won't.
Are you saying it will not be reviewed?
I mean, your definition of review is different from our definition of review. So if you are talking of review, be specific. NDC review usually leads to cancellation. So that kind of a review, it's not
so you
on the table.
You are now saying that we should all have a different definition for review.
You have a different definition.
No,
and we've
we
made
don't.
it clear.
You had the different definition for review. You equated our term of review to cancellation. And we were all surprised. Only for you to come and say review now. And now that you are saying the review, you want to put your definition on it. Review is review. But it was never a situation where we had indicated that SHS will be cancelled. And that goes with your narrative as well, where you are saying, oh look, people are not sure whether it will stay or not. We have never, ever said we will cancel free SHS. And for the record, free senior high school was started under the day school system of John Dramani Mahama. In terms of going the whole country, that is your legacy. We don't dispute that. The same applies to the program of national health insurance. We started piloting it. You came in, Kufuor did national. We gave him the credit for that. But the pilots were run under us. So this idea that we are against social interventions, whereas we are more cautious in the approach we go, you have gone shebang. And we are all seeing the benefits or otherwise of those decisions that were taken. So posterity will judge it all.
All right, Saturday is just around the corner. we'll see how it goes. But Mrs. Rebecca Simeon Okreku, you are 80 years old today. Mrs. Rebecca Simeon Okreku. And Auntie Rebecca is the mother of the president of the Ghana Football Association, Kato Okreku. And she's 80 today. So happy 80th birthday to you, Mrs. Rebecca Simeon Okreku. And this is a big day for you, Auntie Rebecca, at 80. Happy 80th birthday to you. Yes, that's Kato Okreku's mother, the president of the GFA. That's his mother. Yeah. Wow. Before.
A young shall grow.
When you see the elderly women, you think they have not done it before. So, Mama Rebecca, happy 80th to you. Okay. All right, happy 80th to you. Also, it's your birthday, Rita Nade Ajaki. Antina, happy birthday to you from your husband, Michael Ajaki. So, Antina, Rita Nade Ajaki, happy birthday to you. And Edric Jaden Niama Kain Amakwe, you're 12 today. Happy birthday to you from your dad and your mom, and of course your siblings as well. We're back shortly.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
My name is John, and this is my long-time crush, my cookie dipped in strawberry yogurt. On this scorching hot afternoon on our way back from a long job hunt, we met this good Samaritan who offered us 6 weeks later.
A special wedding reception for our bride and groom.
And there she is, my cookie, dipped in someone else's yogurt.
Who holds the moolah, calls the shots, play game by games, the easiest lottery to play play, and win. Pick 4 numbers from 0 to 9 up to 3 times daily to become one of our daily lucky winners. Dial *946# to play now. Or you can also play online at www.gamepackgames.com. Game Park is regulated by the National Lottery Authority.
Betway is your gateway to a theme park full of gaming excitement. A whirlpool of wonder where your favorite games come to life. Where you can take to the skies with max payouts that reach into the millions. All in the palm of your hand. Visit betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Bet responsibly. Betway. Bet your way.
My son, there's more blessing in giving than receiving. When you fear for you and couple the makers in Sranu Deuro.
The pneumatological aberration of the Lord revealed unto me this night that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited. I'm up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. Edike Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Valco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafubuachi Hospital Junction. Sakradi. Kuma. Number 9 Market.
Tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program.
From 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply.
The same got to move na mesesi.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, I have the Honorable Alex Segbefia and the Honorable Sylvester Tete. But the Makers Electronics Company Limited is reminding you that it has discounts of up to 67% on selected electronic appliances from brands such as Samsung, LG Move, NASCO, TCL Media, and Toshiba. These are quality but affordable electronic appliances with 2 years manufacturer defect warranty. So visit the showrooms of the Makers Electronics Company Limited at Taifa Burkina Highway, Amasaman Zongo Junction, Oyarifa Teman Boga Junction, Kaswa New Market, Ashaman Valco Flat, Kumasi Ahinima Kokobeng, Takrade Fie Kuma number 9 Market, or you can reach the Makers Electronics Company Limited on 055 22 22253 or 055 22 22254. The Makers Electronics Company Limited, large and in charge, with quality but affordable home appliances and consumer electronics. Terms and conditions apply. And are you ready to get way more back with Betway in the new season? Use the golden booking code that you can find on the Betway site and place your risk-free bet from 25th to the 27th of August. Guarantee you 100% back as a free bet up to 50 cedis if you lose. This is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana and is not for persons under the age of 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway, bet your way. All right, so, Alex, the minority...
you said risk-free betting, but I thought there's 10% on top now.
that conversation, you need to have it.
The company is giving you risk-free betting.
I wanted to be sure.
No, the company is giving you risk-free betting. It is the government that is taking 10 from your winning.
Right. Okay, I'll just check it.
Randy, that conversation, before my senior comes in.
Yes.
Look, these betting companies,
yes,
there's nothing wrong taxing winnings of people who bet.
Yes.
But as to how much they stake and the taxes government get from the companies, the company servers are sitting outside this country.
Okay.
The telcos servers are here. And we plugged in, we check.
Okay.
I'll come into that matter in the coming weeks.
But what's stopping you from? It's a regulated industry. So
yes, so for me, I think that we are not being fair to ourselves as Ghanaians. The betting companies, Nigeria, Bet Nigeria, and then Betway in South Africa and Nigeria. Nobody knows how much. They tell us how much they've made before they give us taxes.
Okay. So, Mr. MP, that's why we put you there.
I'm just giving a notice.
All right. Okay. So,
my small comment of
risk-free. Okay. So, it's demo time again, and the police demonstrators tango has started again. Yeah. Yesterday we got the impression that there's been a successful meeting and all that, and then by evening we realized that it was not as kosher as we all thought. So I'm looking at the center spread at Daily Post, and it says leadership of a minority caucus in Parliament is resisting alternative routes provided by the police for the Occupy Bank of Ghana protest to demand the resignation of the governor of Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison and his 2 deputies. The turn of events follows a meeting with the police on Wednesday, August 23. The deputy minority leader, Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boa, while addressing the press after the meeting, insisted that they will use their proposed routes for the demonstration on September 5. The minority, in notifying the police of the protest, proposed to start a demonstration from the front gate of Parliament. They suggested using the following route. So from Parliament to the Osu Cemetery traffic light, then to the Ministry of Finance, High Court Complex, Kimbu, Makola, Rollins Park to Opera Square and to the Bank of Ghana to present their petition. However, the police raised concerns about the selected routes, noting that the routes may endanger public order and safety. They also noted that they did not want the protest to obstruct traffic. In this regard, the police suggested that the minority converge at Obrasport Circle at Abraka, a road building, to the city center, City House, to Independence Square. But the deputy minority leader insisted that they will stand by their proposed routes for the demonstration, adding that their route is shorter than what the police is proposing. Quote, so far as we are concerned, the routes that we are going to use, the police of course discussed alternatives, but we insisted that the routes that we have proposed are the routes we are going to use. That is why we are saying that we haven't accepted any alternative arrangement. According to him, the minority believes and has confidence in the police service, since they have policed more complicated routes for demonstrations than what they have proposed. He added that their routes should not alarm the police in any way. Quote, the most strategic and important national security installation is the office of the president. If you can demonstrate up to the frontage of Flagstaff House, How is it that you cannot match the frontage of the Bank of Ghana head office building? He asked.
Well, Randy, first and foremost, I'm trying to, haven't been able to confirm, and it's important, what the basis of the reportage we all got was. Because if there had been an agreement, on the route, the first question to ask is what necessitated the change now in the route? If, however, there was no agreement and the talks are still ongoing, then that is where we are as to whether we haven't approved. What may have been approved is the demonstration and not necessarily the route.
Because yesterday, in the evening, there was this statement from the police. Police statement on planned demonstration by the minority in Parliament. And it reads, on 21st August 2023, the Greater Accra Regional Command received a notice of public protest from the office of a minority leader. The letter indicated that the minority in Parliament, in collaboration with some others, intend to embark on a public protest to demand the resignation of the Governor, Deputy Governor and Board of Directors of the Bank of Ghana. The organizers further gave the proposed route for the protest as follows: from the frontage of Parliament House, through Osu Cemetery traffic light, Ministry of Finance, High Court Complex, Kimbu to Makola to Rollins Park to Opera Square to Bank of Ghana. Upon receipt of the notice, the police undertook security assessment of the chosen routes and the destination for the picketing. Following the security assessment, on 23rd August 2023, the command engaged the organizers and assured them that the police are ready to provide them the needed security to exercise their constitutional right to demonstrate. However, police drew their attention to the fact that using their selected routes may endanger public order and public safety, among others. We therefore requested organizers to relocate the routes and destination of picketing in the interest of public order, public safety, and running of essential services. The police are waiting to hear from the organizers to enable us provide them the necessary security during the protest. We would like to assure the public that the police will continue to deliver on our mandate as we work together to deepen our democratic credentials as a country. And it's signed by Julian Orbin, Superintendent of Police and Head of Public Affairs.
So that clarifies the point I needed, which is that there's no objection to the demonstration, but there are concerns about the routes which we intend to embark upon.
But aren't the routes as important as the demonstration, because there's a certain effect, there's a certain outcome that is expected?
I agree entirely with the point you make, because the route is key to the impact you want your demonstration to have. And it also allows the citizenry to be aware of what is happening and to join in if they so wish even. Because there are people who, from experience, will just join the demonstration because they are sympathetic to the basis or the issues that are being raised by the particular demonstration. So I think that it's a bit of a, there are very few routes that will not say disrupt traffic. And when the demonstration is moving, it's for a certain period and then it passes. And then you go into another road and you go into another road. So if it is well orchestrated by the police, and this has happened on many occasions, and people are informed that there's going to be a demonstration between this hour and that hour, and you expect your people to be in and around, alternative arrangements can easily be made to ensure that we don't have the difficulties that are being mentioned by the police. Because for impact purposes and for actually getting to the particular destination, because you will notice that the police are asking us to go to Independence Square. And
or Brassport to Independence Square.
Yes, and we want to go to Bank of Ghana. In fact, one of the demands we've made, it's not actually mentioned in the document, was that we want to hand our petition to the governor of the Bank of Ghana. So not only do we want to go to the Bank of Ghana, they can stop at the frontage across the road, and then a 3 or 5 member delegation can go to the actual building, and he will come out, he will collect his petition, and then everybody knows that he's aware he has got it. as to he's our governor of the Bank of Ghana for the whole of Ghana. And we are very unhappy with what has occurred and what has transpired. So we are giving it to you directly so that there's no ifs or buts that the demonstration has had its full impact. As to whether the police will agree or he himself will agree, posterity will judge one way or the other. But those are our demands, and I do not believe that I have heard any reason so far that cannot be circumvented by other means for the demonstration to go down the route we have chosen and for the demonstration. After all, when you come from Circle all the way in towards Independence Square, there's a lot of traffic spots, but they manage it. So why aren't we going to manage this one? For me, we used to demonstrate right up to Art Center, Polo Club in the past, and have the end of our demonstration there, which is a stone throw from the Bank of Ghana. When we used to do all those demonstrations in just the recent past and go to Polo Club, there was no problem. So why all of a sudden there's a problem on that route? We've had massive demonstrations which have ended up at the Accra Polo Club, opposite the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum. And how much distance is that between there and the Bank of Ghana? So I don't think that the excuses that have been put forward are legitimate and cannot be circumvented in other ways. And so long as it starts at the right time in the morning, by a certain time, mid-afternoon, it's over. It wouldn't affect the ending rush hour traffic in the evening. People would have dispersed. So well orchestrated, looking at the times, it can be done. We just plead with Dr. Addison to come down from the Bank of Ghana building and come and collect the petition on the day that it is held. Because it's a real issue for us. We think that this Bank of Ghana thing, the explanations that have been put forward, you show a clip which is very telling, where the head of finance refuses to even confirm the amount the Bank of Ghana is using for the business.
On hindsight, I don't blame him.
Neither do I.
Because if today is 81, then by the time you wake up it's 121, and the next time you go open your front door is 227, and you don't know what will happen when you get out of the washroom. What is he going to say?
No, but he is part of the decision making, we like to think. And even if it is at 250 at the point, the last figure you have is that, then just tell us what your last figure was, because it must have been confirmed. But his silence, or his putting down the phone or disconnecting at that time without us having the ability for him to come back, speaks volumes.
He probably doesn't want to place on record. Tomorrow, if you go and see that the thing has reached 300, then you come and play his voice. That he's the one who said it's 250.
Well, if you put it that way, I hear you.
Well, you can see. He sees the trajectory.
But why is it with all projects like that? The cathedral has done the same. From the time you
see the variation, for me, the variations are just crazy.
Huge.
This is dollar denominated.
Yes, huge.
And then you have a variation of 50% initially. Even the Ministry of Finance and Central Tender Review, they raise issues with these things. I mean, some of the comments and the findings by the Central Tender Review Committee are so indicting. When an institution like the Bank of Ghana were told by the Central Review Board that they did not do, let me even look for some of those documents. If you see some of the issues that they raise, about the project, that
even the timing, at the time when this thing was being approved, it was in 2020, and this was at the time
August
when we were in COVID. So, I mean, what were they thinking to do a project of this nature when the whole economy was on standstill? It just doesn't make sense. And the figure just kept rising.
So if you have the Ministry of Finance, I mean the Ministry of Finance itself saying that at this 21st emergency meeting on Tuesday, 17 January 2023, reviewed the documentation submitted by the Bank of Ghana and noted this. Listen carefully. That there was inadequate project design conception and preparation of the original contract. For something that an institution like the Central Bank, with all the expertise at its disposal, sat, conceived, the governor says that is something that started long ago. They did all those things. Wrote to PPA, intending to spend about $82 million.
Yes.
And yet we are told in 2023 that the Ministry of Finance, this is on a letter of the Ministry of Finance, that they found that there was inadequate project design, conception, and preparation of the original contract. And that now, as at when they were reviewing this document, there's an entirely new scope in design for the revised project. The revised scope of work has already commenced prior to seeking approval from the Central Tender Review Committee. And there was no detailed project milestones identified as benchmark for payment under the project to protect the Bank of Ghana against any risk of financial exposure.
Randy, the less said, even the better. Look, the thing is a mess. The whole contract, how it was put together, the cost. And I heard former governor of the Bank of Ghana, Kobna Dufo, just saying, look, let's go for an independent audit of this costing, because it confounds any people who have been into construction and building. They can't understand. I heard also Professor Adai saying that there's the vaults is especially specific when there are vaults. So, if the Minister of Finance...
It was the Professor Adai interview that we played. It's pretty obvious that he does not have adequate information.
No.
Because he was making reference to $20 million.
Exactly.
And comparing it to some $10 million school he intends building.
The whole... Anybody who is talking on this thing must be very circumspect. It stinks to high heaven. It's not correct. The whole idea, it's very insensitive.
In fact, what this means is that after initially agreeing to do a project for 80-something million and getting the approval, you now decide to vary it by 50% to 120-something. Then now you decide that you want to change the entire scope and design. You want to do something
which means you have to start afresh.
Something completely different.
You have to completely.
And that is what is taking us to the $220-something million.
Exactly. But anyway, I shall leave my brother to speak on, because we want to just go on this demo, give him our documents. Police should allow us to do it. There's a lot of public interest in this matter. The excuses being given by it, or the reasons being given by the police, can be circumvented. The demonstration should be allowed to go on in that manner. All this changing rules doesn't help anybody. We should just go, and we insist that Governor Addison should come and take the petition. This is a bad deal for Ghana. But we have gone far. All the construction and everything, but they have to do the audit so that we all know how this figure, that keeps changing. In the same way, there has to be an audit on the cathedral, why it moved and all these constructions that are going on. We don't understand. And
variations are normal in
50%.
No, I'm saying they're normal. Yes. But if you look at this one,
yes,
you know, if you look at this one, you start off, and from the correspondence, it appears that you even got to a point as to when we are done the variation to the 120 something, you decide to now change the entire scope and design of a project.
It's a new project.
Who does that?
It's a new project completely.
Randy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I think that, well, first of all, on the demonstration, one is the right of every Ghanaian to demonstrate, and that is short in our statute. But of course, the security agencies, for that matter, also has a right to protect lives and property. And therefore, we've always had reason to vary our routes that are predetermined by organizers of these demonstrations or walks. There's nothing wrong with sitting down with the police. In fact, whatever we want to say about the Bank of Ghana and the things we are not happy about, Randy, can be said even in these studios and it will have the same effect. I don't want to believe that if the agreement is to hand a petition to the Bank of Ghana himself, could be hindered by virtue of converging at Independence Square. No, I don't think so. So that cannot be a reason to say we must necessarily go through the Bank of Ghana. You can even get to Bank of Ghana and will detail an officer to come and take the petition from you. But we must look at the security implication of we using that particular route. And I think that organizers must also bear in mind that there are other implications other than the message they want to carry. And I don't think their intention is that they will end up finishing this demonstration and will have other issues that we will not be happy with. So they should also listen to the police. They should look at the security implications to the central bank, to people in and around that place, and businesses in general. Whatever they want to say, they can use the alternative route, get to the Independence Square, and they will still get their message sent across. So I think that is more important. They should look at it from that way. Having said that, Randy,
knowing the routes, Sly, I'm sure you know those routes well.
I do.
Knowing those routes, so they want to start at Parliament, the frontage.
Okay.
Then, per what I read, they take a left to the traffic light.
Traffic light.
And then make a right on the back of the stadium.
Yes.
There also stand.
Yes. Go to DVA and to the lotteries.
Go through Ministry of Finance. And then hit the Kimbu part.
So you see, Randy,
yes.
What day is that? It's a Tuesday.
5th of September.
5th of September.
Yeah. I should think so.
I think it's a Tuesday. So. Randy, on a Tuesday.
Or maybe Wednesday.
Wednesday also. It's a working day.
Yeah.
So from Ministry of Finance, when they go through Tuesday, it's a Tuesday.
5th of September.
Okay, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Going through Ministry of Finance, look at the Ministry of Finance, how difficult it is to even access the place on a normal, regular day. And you're taking these demonstrators through the Ministry of Finance, through customs, and to hit the traffic light, and then you turn left again, turn right through lotteries, going to the Bank of Ghana. Randy, it's going to be quite chaotic. There are a lot of implications that we must look at it. It's going to be quite chaotic. I don't think that when you create that scene, that will really project what you want to say. With all due respect to the organizers of this demonstration, I am not dictating to them what to do. But of course, I can also make an appeal to them that in the interest of this country, in the interest of the state security and the implications that route will give to all of us, they should reconsider it. They should reconsider. I don't think that the two has anything in common, that when you use that route, people will get our message. Except to create more serious situation for all of us. So they must really look at it clearly. Randy, having said that, coming to the cost of the project and all that, I mean, there's nothing wrong. This project idea was conceived way back. We all know that. Randy, if coming to the project after so many years.
Now I'm not convinced.
You are not convinced?
You see, let me tell you something. It's like saying that we need to look at building a new studio. We've been here for 20, 30 years. We're expanding. We need to look at the possibility of building a new studio.
Yeah.
So we have that discussion.
Right.
And then 10 years down the line, some other person takes charge of the company and decides that they are going to build a new studio, but it's a new studio which is valued at some ridiculous amount or whatever.
Right.
And the justification is that 10 years earlier, there was a discussion about
a new studio.
And Randy, so that justifies the decision that they are taking on that day.
No, Randy, I don't think that is wholly true. Under the circumstance,
yes.
I'm looking at the scenarios you are bringing about variation, the cost of building it and all that.
Yes.
First of all, we must look at the current state of the project as to whether or not it merits the amount put on it. First of all, we must know that the previous quotation or the contract.
You don't think that the first thing to note is whether it makes sense to even think about spending a certain amount of money for a project?
No, that is one side of the argument.
No, I'm saying that because it's first of all. I was thinking that the first thing you look at is whether
Randy,
we should be spending 3 billion cedis
to build a Bank of Ghana,
a new head office.
Randy, as we sit here, I remember when President Kufuor took the decision to build the Jubilee House. At that time, the question is that we are hungry, people are poor, we don't have food to feed ourselves. Why go build a presidential palace? So the reason not to do something will always be ascribed and will be reason about the poor on our streets. Anytime any government wants to do something, and it has happened in many cases. I remember when they were building the Circle interchange, people were saying that you are putting so much money for one interchange. Why don't you use the money to do the auxiliary roads in Accra? It's enough. I mean, there will always be an argument against the project from a government, by the opposition, or otherwise. I've been told and I've read that when Kwame Nkrumah was building the motorway, we said the cost of building the motorway can build so many roads in Accra. So that argument is neither here nor there. It is about the decision of government and its impact, long-term impact and a short-term impact on your economy. So first of all, we will never have excess money to say that we have had enough until we've attained the self-fulfilling status. Then we can say, I mean, no country will say you have enough. So now, do Bank of Ghana really needs a new headquarters or not? Successive managers of the central bank and its board had agreed that the Bank of Ghana really needs a new head office. Me, I've always said Cocoa Board should relocate from where they are. I've never worked before, but I think that Cocoa Board should relocate from their present location in the Central Business District. Look at where Bank of Ghana is.
What happened to what they want to do at the trade fair?
I don't know whether they have property there. I don't know. Yes, but if they are doing, I don't know. But if they are doing it, I'll support them. The Cocoa Board, where they are, right? They are assessing that place for business.
I'm just giving you an assignment.
No problem. I'll find out. So once you talked about it, I'll find out. But if they are doing that,
so the Cocoa Board trade fair. I've given you 2 links.
Cocoa Board and trade fair. So I'll do that. I'll get further and better particulars. So Randy, there's that understanding that we need to relocate the central bank. As to the quantum of money, I mean, it's subjective. People can critique it left, right, center. But the worrying situation for me is about the Bank of Finance Ministry's position that there was no proper design. And so what constitutes that initial contract is my problem. That is a problem. Now, if they sit down and realize that, okay, I understand that the first drawing, the conception, what they conceived to do at that time, did not even include some things on cyber security, some other things, and they've given some reasons
in 2020.
Yes, I'm told as to whether that is true. I mean, there are so many additions. So one, the decision to do it has been there with successive government, no problem. They've started the initial work, $180 million.
But Sly, the point I'm making is that design.
Yes.
You see, the design.
Yes.
To do the project at 80-something million, which is what was approved by the PPA.
Right.
Is not something that this central bank inherited from any previous administration.
It's from its own self.
Yes. So the decision to do a new headquarters,
right,
with that design, which the PPA approved, the 81 point something million, was something that the central bank itself.
I agree.
Yes.
Randy, you can conceive an idea that you are here. You want to do a new headquarters for Metro TV. The same management today. You do your design and everything, you approve it. Going forward, maybe a year or 2 later, you are taking over. You realize that no, we're missing A, B, C, D. I mean, I'm looking at whether there are trails to why the quantum jump.
There was one.
Yes.
Which moved the thing from 80 something.
Agree.
To 120. And about 50% jump.
Great. So you see, if approval is given, I don't think PPA will give approval on nothing. Yes. There will always be reason, because these are project estimate.
Yes.
There will always be reason for the increment.
Oh, yes.
But the entity tender can do up to 15-20% on their own. Beyond that, they have to go to central or PPA.
Yes.
So you don't go to PPA to say that I want to increase it by this margin. Based on original design. There's been additions in the design. There's been cost price adjustment and all that. So you go to PPA. That I want to do adjustment to the original program. Does that have the board approval? For them, for the governor to even go there in the first place? If there is, we need to trace all these things. And if all these things are in place, then the debate now becomes whether it's worth it or not. But as to whether people are impugning that there is some negativity about it or not, I'm not in a position to say so. And I'm worried about even the first one they did and what the finance ministry even said on it. That's my worry. But beyond that, Randy, if it's 300 million,
this was on the third.
On the third.
This was on the third one.
On the third one.
What I read was on the third.
On the third one.
The 221.
Yeah, so that's a problem to me, because if you are doing design changes, that will obviously affect the cost, the price of which you are going to PPA. And if PPA has approved it, then we need to ask further questions. On what are you making such approvals for them? I mean, these are.
So there's even an interesting one. If you look at the second one,
yes,
the reconstruction of new corporate office complex, and this is also from Ministry of Finance, the Central Tender Review Committee. Says please refer to the letter dated 26. Check the date, right. 26th of August 2020, which was submitted on above subject. The committee reviewed the Bank of Ghana's evaluation report at the emergency sitting on Wednesday, 12 August 2020. In a letter dated 12 August 2020, the committee noted that issues of capacity used for the disqualification of Messrs. Man Enterprise Ghana Limited contradicted the basis for the shortlisting and approval of the tenderers to participate in the restrictive tender. Also, variances in technical scoring by the evaluators on experience, turnover, personnel, and equipment requirements suggested the use of subjective sub-criteria for the evaluation of proposals, among others. 3. At the emergency sitting on Friday, 28th of August 2020, the committee reviewed Bank of Ghana's revised evaluation report and noted that the recommended award figure of $121,078,517.94 substantially exceeded the Public Procurement Authority PPA approved estimated amount of $81,882,640.
Right.
BOG is hereby requested to provide justification for the recommended award amount in relation to the approved amount by the PPA. So I ask you to watch the date, the 26th of August 2020.
Right.
So now the Bank of Ghana writes to the Central Tender Review Committee on the 4th of September. And it says, reconstruction of new corporate office complex. We refer to your letter dated 3rd of August 2020. In the above mentioned letter, the Central Tender Review Committee indicated that at the emergency sitting on Friday, 28 August 2020, the committee reviewed Bank of Ghana's revised evaluation report and noted that the recommended award figure of 121 substantially exceeded the PPA approved estimate of 81. The CTRC requested the bank to provide justification for the recommended award amount in relation to the approved amount by the PPA. In a letter dated 31st of August 2020.
2 days later.
Yes, the Bank of Ghana provided justification for an upward review of the PPA approved amount of 81 million and further requested approval of the PPA for the bank to proceed with the process with an amount of 121, being the lowest evaluated price submitted by the successful tenderer. The Bank of Ghana submits the attached letter from PPA indicating an upward review of the initial approved estimated cost of the above-mentioned project from 81 to 121 and further requests the CTRC to grant its concurrent approval for the recommendation evaluation panel on above-mentioned project.
Finito. They've gone through the process. You see, it is not for nothing that when an entity does something and they're seeking review, they went to the Ministry of Finance.
The Central
Tender Review. They reviewed it and they said, no, provide us with a justification. And I'm happy to say that on the 4th of September, 31st of August, they provided the justification for the 81 and requested for further increment to 121. And they've added order. They haven't said that they have not provided those justifications for it and requested for concurrent approval. There's nothing wrong with that. So they haven't done anything untoward. While we can make a conclusion that the amount of money is too much, you can give reasons why we should not do all that. But the processes, the paper trail, as I've talked about, I mean, they are in line. It is not for nothing that you have an appellate body of your own decision. and they've reviewed it, and that's their job. So if they review it and they did not find anything untoward, and these anomalies are there, but they have been able to correct the system and giving them approval ultimately. I mean, I think that is most important. So for me, if they did not do this, they are gone ahead and spending the money, then there's a problem. The justification here means that what are you using the 121
So
million
it is after all of this,
right,
that they then go and make a request for 200 and something million.
Thank you.
Good.
And that is
good.
when the issue of the scope, the design, and all those things were raised by the same central tender.
So the problem is that, Randy, you do all this. Again comes to documentation, procedure, law. Okay? It's law. On what basis are you making the request for how much? 221. On what basis? It cannot be on nothing. We should see.
You change the entire scope and design.
Is it permissible in law? Is it permissible in law?
Everything is permissible.
If it's permissible in law, then that one, there is no problem. If the approval is granted, that, on the basis of what we wanted to do, 121, we are now moving to 221 because of A, B, C, D. We need to look for that justification.
Okay.
The reason why they shot up to 221. If we get it, it doesn't make sense. I mean, the people who expert in this country will speak to it. But if we don't have the justification, what constitutes that 211, then of course we can be shouting, we can be making all the allegations, and we'll go on demonstrations and all that. But I'm saying that let's look for the justification. What shot the price from 100 and
the committee hereby advises the Bank of Ghana
to
adhere to the requirements of a comprehensive design preparation and procurement approvals for projects of such nature, design and build, to avoid huge variation costs in future procurements. Bank of Ghana is further advised to develop detailed project milestones as benchmark for payments under the project.
Fantastic. I think they didn't do a good job. You see?
But that was for the 120.
No,
this is for the
final approval given them.
799, 76.
No, so they are telling them.
This is
because
why
one project, you started from 81 million, you went to 121, and you went to 222. Now, finally, you've been able to convince them to justify the expenditure. This is advising them that, look, you shouldn't be coming here back and forth on one project, as if you don't even know what you are doing. But if you really know what you are doing, you are the expert advice and all that, you have a project of this nature will obviously come with a pre-contractual obligations on the bank to do the design, everything. Then you go through it, you approve it, then you start the process. So I don't understand the kind of work they did in a space of how many years?
2 years.
2 years. But I bet you this amount of money, 221, 222, maybe 20% will be due to inflation or exchange rate differentials. Please, I'm saying, I'm telling you. So we need to look for the details of this 221. Until that, then you bring it to the public. This is a public document. Approvals were not given on nothing. And if it's permissible in law, then nobody has heard. So we need to look at the details of what constitutes this 221. When we get that details, then you can shout. Until then, save all of us this demonstration shouting over the roof. It is only political.
You have been involved with projects, some projects, by virtue of your work in the public service. Is there, by law, a percentage limit on how much an original contract can be varied?
Yes, by the, like I told you, by the entity, you can't go more than, I think, 10-20%. You cannot go by the entity.
In this case of Bank of Ghana,
yes,
you have the first variation, which was 50%.
Yes.
Then you have the second variation, which is almost 100%.
That is why these variations are not done by the entity. It goes to the central tender and is permissible in law. Once you can justify it, then bring documentation to support it. Once you have the funding for it. And the most important of all, you must demonstrate capacity to even undertake the project. In some cases, they request commencement certificate if you are not the paying institution from the central government. In this case, Ministry of Finance. So has government indicated capacity to pay? So it doesn't really matter.
Should a central entity tender committee be considering and even granting approval to a request that it raises issues of inadequate project design, conception, and preparation of original contract, an entirely new scope in design for a revised project, revised scope of works that have already commenced prior to seeking approval, no detailed project milestones identified as benchmark for payment under the project to protect the bank against the risk of financial exposure. If you have highlighted, you have seen all this in the trajectory of this particular project, you still go ahead and...
Don't forget, finally, they requested justification. I mean, there's a letter from them to provide justification.
What they said was that the unit costs of the revised scope of works is competitive with unit costs of similar projects on the market.
Fantastic.
And they sourced the Property and Construction Africa Cost Guide 2021-2022.
Fantastic. So for me, what the central tender will be doing, like I told you, you look at the exposure of the central bank. Where is the funding coming from? They've raised all these questions. And that is why finally they brought justifications. So I'm interested in a final justification for this project amounting to 221.
The justification is that by the Property and Construction Africa Cost Guide 2021-2022, the cost is competitive.
So finito.
So if the cost
finito.
If the cost is competitive and you are sure that there's inadequate project design, conception, and preparation of original contract, there are no detailed project milestones identified as benchmark for payment under the project, the revised scope of work is already commenced, and how do you ensure that you do not have a repetition of all these things again?
Yeah, so it's a caution. It's a caution to them. At the stage of approving the 221, all the justifications have been met and have been duly submitted and approval has been given. However, because of the history of this project, moving from 81, 121, and now 222, it is only fair for them to caution. That as if you don't know what you are doing. We've done the approval for
It's not as if.
Obviously, I mean,
it's obvious that
because if you push them, they come with the documentation to justify.
No, when you push it, they go and look for the documentation.
Oh no, please.
But that's
it's like I sat on an internal audit committee work, currently ongoing by the local government committee, and in one of the assemblies, they flag certain things, and they say, oh, they should provide receipt. Then after 6 months or so, they provide receipt. And I was like, if you ask a driver who claimed to have bought fuel and you ask him to justify, you go and look for, and it's the cheapest receipt you can find to get a receipt from
filling station.
From a filling station. Okay. But I think these things are more technical. It goes beyond perhaps what we are discussing. So I will urge my brothers that look, we must look at the fine details, and we can critique the details rather than putting the whole thing together and criticizing it.
Okay. All right.
Randy, this matter should not even have gone to Central Tender Board.
Right.
At the moment you have a variation of 100 million from 120 to 220 dollars. We are not talking of cedis, where you can say we are 45% inflation. So the variation can. We are not talking of cedis. We are talking of dollars. You have a completely new project. You start afresh. You cannot vary an 80. If you take it from the what's it called, 80 million, it is 3 times bar 20 million. It is 3 times the cost. If you take it from the 80 million, if you take it from the 120, it's 100%. So you are looking even the 120. At the moment they were going to move that 120 to 220, they should have said, look, you people go and get your act together. Come with a new proposal. Bring your whole this thing and let's start from scratch. Because you are looking at a totally different project. And that is why people are saying, let's get an independent audit of everything that is being done, because it just doesn't make sense. 100 million increment. What type of project is that? What is that extra cost that is given on? From 80 million, it's even worse. So I'm clear in my mind, Randy, that that independent audit must be done. So that if there's explanation, and it shouldn't have there should never be a situation where we are looking at people who are in responsible positions. Why do you go for a variation of 100 million when you started at 80 and you already got a variation of 120? What you do is you close the book. We are not ready to move this thing yet. Let's do a new design, everything, and go back through the whole process again, because we now have a different view of what we really want to do. Then the question is, have you caused financial loss? Because how much have you already spent all the way to that point before you get to this issue? But you have a completely different project. Completely different. 220 million. Why are we pretending as if we are talking of some 500,000 Ghana cedis or 20 million Ghana cedis? We are not. That's not what we are talking about here. It's a huge, huge amount of money. And there's absolutely no justification, as far as some of us are concerned, in whatever process or procedure, till we get it from an independent source. Because
so Honorable Sebufia,
Chief,
Senior, you see, my argument on this matter, you see, as to how huge the amount of money is, can be huge when there's no justification for it. I mean, I've made a point that even if you want to buy something $1 million worth, people will have reason to direct you where to put that $1 million. And it will be part of our political history going forward for the rest of our lives.
Yes.
So I'm saying that if you are saying there should be an independent, unless you have the final detailed design amounting to 221, and you still have your doubt.
No.
You know, when the cathedral thing came, the consultancy, the drawing and the rest, people were comparing them with other drawings of bigger scope than this and the cost. But this one, you don't have the base and to compare with another 10.
We have a base.
No. Where is it?
There's an 80 million base.
Is it that we've gone past that place?
No, we haven't
gone past that place.
My brother, you are not listening to me. There's an 80 million base. You now have gone for a variation to 120 million. That is a good whopping 40 million. That is not enough. You have now gone for another variation of, and I'm telling you that the two projects are not the same.
Yes.
Completely different projects.
They are not the same.
And if they are completely different projects, you start afresh. And I'm saying that the people who made the decision to even allow the variation have a problem. I'm not, what's it called? And that's why I'm saying that you need an independent person to look at it. Because whoever made those decisions to allow a variation of 100 million has questions to answer as well. Not just the
but I should find out whether or not
that
the law allows that.
I
thought if it's permissible in law. The institutions operate on the basis of law. So before you say that person has a question to ask, check the law in relation to the work the person has done.
When you do the checks, we all know that even internally, you only have a 10 to 15% variation right.
But this is
if you don't have it, you have to go to Central Tender Board. And we are saying that Central Tender Board should use its discretion in the right manner. Whatever discretion you have used to allow 100 million
it's
variation.
Not discretional. It's not. It's permissible under law. It's not discretionary powers.
So you are saying that if they come now and they say it's 1 billion, we should take it.
No.
So what are you talking about?
What I'm saying is that when they say it's 1 billion, what makes it 1 billion? They now provide details of what makes it 1 billion, and then you do checks.
No, but Sly, if we were to entertain that, what it means is that you decide that I want to do a project. And you see, I always say that when it comes to public finances, how people who superintend over public finances use it, and how they use it if it's money from their pocket.
Exactly.
Different. It's what tells you clearly that you decide an institution with all the expertise, with the capability of hiring everybody.
Exactly.
You decide that I want to spend 80-something million on a new head office. You've done that. You have shortlisted 5 construction companies. You've submitted them to PPA. PPA has given you approval. And then they have given you approval for the amount, shown you what you should pay for these services and all that. You have that. Then you go and do your tendering process. Then you say that the lowest you received was 120-something. So you've gone to central review to do the thing for you, to approve the review for you. Central tender says, okay, I've seen this thing. However, that is not what the PPA approved. The difference between what the PPA approved and this is too wide. On the basis of that, you go to the PPA after 4 days and go and get an approval for the one something, and then write back to the central tender review that now I have secured that thing, so I approve it. Then later on, you go to central tender review again and say that give me approval for 200 and something, not the 120 something again, because I have added ABCD. I have in fact changed the entire scope of the project. So give me, approve this. So tomorrow they get up again and say that, oh, we forgot that there is something, the gold for oil, we must do something to add those things. It wasn't there. So there's another 40 million. They have provided that justification. So it will go to central tender, and because there's a justification, that one too is approved. Then the following month,
there's even
a more fundamental point.
No, you see,
the fundamental point you are missing is that the reason why we do not like sole sourcing is to make sure that you have competitive bidding. If somebody has totally redesigned a building, why haven't you sent it out for tender so that somebody will come and say that 220 that you are talking about, me, I'll build it for 150 million.
Because the choice was on the basis of the 80 something.
Exactly.
You
so
see, I come to this point. You see, Randy, the institution central bank has its board. The Ministry of Finance gives commencement certificates for projects of this nature for purposes of payment. I don't know whether they have their own funding for the source of funding for this project as it were. Very important question as to, because if you approve the company for construction of 81 million, it means maybe the company may not even be able to do a project worth 200 million. That is fundamental. So, are these processes taken into consideration in the subsequent approval to the tune of 2222 million? These are things that I'm only looking at the process, procedure, and law. Randy, are you getting me? So today, the final approval, then your question is legitimate. Let us know whether or not the company, well, initially 5 companies bidded, one had the project, and then it was at 81 million. Now, subsequent arrangement have been done to the project to the tune of $222 million. Does that company still has capacity to undertake that project?
But the central tender review says that even before you came to us, you have even commenced the thing and have committed money to it.
Exactly. So
Randy, there's nothing the reverse.
It is more of your hand is twisted to ratify.
Look, exactly.
There are
so
companies,
the point I'm making
some
is
companies
that, so we should be testing the procedure, the process, and laws. I mean, these are my point I'm making.
That's all.
You see, please, but you are not doing that on the basis of going to the street and say it's too expensive. So I'm bringing a petition to the committee. Look. We need to test the process. I mean, every document, every paper trail on this project, from the beginning to the end, is a public document that you can request for it. Then you can put experts together and look at the process and really advise on this thing. But if we want to solve this problem, inherent problems that we allegedly are in this project on the basis of going to the streets, then I don't know what we are doing to ourselves.
Maybe that would be a bit unfair to the protesters, because that's not the only reason why they are going to. They are marching against the BOG.
Exactly.
In fact, the issue of
is the 600 is the 60 billion. That is the issue.
Okay, then on this project, that is my response to it.
I hear you. If there you have, but I am just of the view that we should be clear that for me it's a completely different project. This should have gone back for tendering. There are companies in this world. If you take 100,
can it go back?
There are companies in this world.
I'm asking, how can it go back for tendering when the company that was chosen initially had started something already?
Well, then it opens up. We have joint ventures. It opens up a lot of possibilities. There are companies in this world who won't touch a project less than 100 million. So if you put in a tender for 80 million, they won't even come to the table. Now you have reached 200 million. They are interested.
All right. Okay. Did Kwekwa Nancy ever have any other name apart from
Kwekwa Nancy?
Did he ever have any other name?
No, that I know of.
Okay, we'll be back shortly.
My son, there's more blessing in giving than receiving. Kwa wuni ufie fonyina enkobo the makers insura no hundero.
The pneumatological aberration of the Lord revealed unto me this night that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited. Emma up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Ewo Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. At the K Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Valco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafu Bwachi Hospital Junction.
Sakrani. Kuma. Number 9 Market.
Tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program.
From 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254.
Terms and conditions apply.
The same got to move na mesesi.
Level 3 presents Cape Coastal Graphic World Fashion 2023. Inside and behind the Adisado School Complex. Running from 30th August up until 10th September 2023. Now, Mr. 30th August now. A big strap house party. 31st August, Central Fashion Homecoming Connect. And on 1st September, Party in Orange. That is the official Orange Friday after party. Until Matola. And on Saturday, 2nd September, it's plenty. Black and Gold Affair. Happening live. Inside Level 3. Star afternoon for Fuera Mutual Play will happen live on 10th September with live match between Manchester United and Arsenal with live commentary from Castle F. Now, Mr. Nyumberna, our official all-white party with our surprise artists. Classic music in the background. Kindness courtesy. DJ Ty, DJ Sketches, Suspect DJ Scotty the Junkie, and Nestle MC Romeo Taylor, and MC Shidless who hold you down in a grand style. Media partners, Cape FM, Property FM, Castle F, and Metro TV. Sponsors, Origin, Stabia, Dalco Fuji, and Manual. For inquiries and reservations, call 0244-925-412 or 0558-224-902. Level 3 and 25.
The Bank of Ghana committing to that project?
I don't have the figure offhand, sir.
The figure for your headquarters?
I don't have a figure off my head, sir. That's what I'm saying.
$250 million. Are you committing $250 million to that project?
I don't have the full complement of the figures at this moment.
Mr. Randolph, you are the Director of Finance of the Bank of Ghana. This is a major project that will shake the balance book of every organization. You should have that figure of head. How much are you committing to your head office building? We know it is $250 million. Can you confirm that? The Bank of Ghana committing to that.
Right, welcome back to the show, and we're just rounding up. Let me say a big 80th birthday once again to you, Mrs. Rebecca Simeon Okreku, the mother of the president of the Ghana Football Association, Kurt Okreku. You are 80 today, Auntie Rebecca. So, Mrs. Rebecca Simeon Okreku, happy 80th birthday for you, to you, and continue waxing stronger, and continue providing all the advice and, of course, the prayer and everything for all of us. So, Auntie Rebecca, happy birthday. Your son Kurt also made sure he married a woman called Rebecca.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, happy 80th birthday to you. And Mrs. Rita Nade Ajaki, Antina, today is your birthday. So happy birthday to you, Antina, as well. And Edric Jaden Niamakana Marco, you are 12 today. Happy birthday to you. Gentlemen, we need to go.
Thank you so much, Randy.
Randy, let me say a very happy birthday to one of my moms in BNA, Mama Vera. It's her birthday today. I wish her happy birthday today. It's her birthday. And then Olua, MP for Aseni across Manso. Yes, it's his birthday today. Honorable George, it's his birthday today.
See the thing with nicknames?
Yes.
Now you are struggling to get a real name.
George Abuaji, his name is George Abuaji.
Yes.
Honorable George Abuaji. Olua, that's how we call him. It's his birthday today. I hear he's in a council. He must come to Accra. There's a ritual we all do in Parliament. So even though we are on recess, he has to produce himself and come to Parliament today. Because though the day is tight, he's waiting to vote on Saturday, but he must come to Accra first before he go back.
So, Honorable, happy birthday to you, and Auntie Nancy, happy birthday.
Yesterday was the Interior Minister's birthday.
Oh,
yeah, it was his birthday.
Honorable Ambrose Derry.
Yes. Ambrose Derry, it was his birthday.
I think it was also the birthday of Dr. Dominic Kisi. Yesterday.
Yes, Adumahu Kisi. Yesterday was
yesterday
Adumahu Kisi's birthday. But I haven't heard from him. I called him a couple of times. He couldn't pick. But I'm trying. I'll see him today. It was his birthday yesterday.
Okay, so Lara Champon, today is your 26th wedding anniversary. So yourself and your wife Evelyn Awuah Champon, today is your 26th anniversary. So happy 26th anniversary to you, Larry and Evelyn Champon, and we hope that you celebrate another 26 and another 26 and another 26. We wish you very well as far as your marriage is concerned. Okay, so that's it. So a lot of people have been asking me that I'm in all white today. Do I have a Bible quotation?
That's mischief.
Yes, I do. Proverbs 29:2. And that will be it. Up next, Metro Sports.
Ashanti. Are you ready? The audition for Bookworm Ashanti 2 is coming on live. Pick your form, register, and stand the chance to be part of our contestants who will experience 14 weeks exposure, reading skills, and news anchoring as well. Are you ready, Ashanti? Do you want to fly to Dubai? Ask Michelle Safo and Michelle Yeboah, winners of Ashanti Region Maiden Edition D. Get your forms now. Bookworm. Read today, lead tomorrow.
What premium shall we place on our health? Is it to wait and get hit with a condition? Or on a daily basis, how do we check the body before health slips away? Living Well is the lifestyle series that will help you get tips to some health issues. My name is Ethel Poplampo. Join me every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Metro TV for the Living Well show.
Women throughout history have shared great knowledge and wise thoughts with a multitude of audiences. Every Friday from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., join our favorite 5 strong, beautiful ladies, Reflow's Miss Candid.
They say that women can fake an orgasm, but then men can also fake an entire relationship.
Reflow's Church Girl.
Sexual satisfaction is a right, not a privilege. Oh yes, I said that.
Reflow's Barbie.
Boys so boys that. See, guys, women are always faking it. If you don't believe me, ask Adashawo why they never did demand for kids.
Reflow's Womanist.
Passionate sex is great. A passionate marriage filled with passionate sex, so much better. It should tell you that sex is only approved in matrimony.
And Reflow's Maverick.
Yes, some of the sounds with the ear, they'll not be here. You go feel here like, give it to me, give it to me.
Watch Reflow's TV on Metro TV every Friday evening from 9 to 10 p.m. Proudly